All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Tempo Quill here. I finally got the blue. I finally got the blue microphone, the blue snowball microphone. So, so that's gonna explain how different I'm sounding, even if it's minuscule. So I've had the wonderful idea of touring all the code of Pokemon Ray. So far, anyway. So the first thing we are gonna see for now is the macros, specifically the audio macros, because of course. Oh, hi Ian. Excuse me. Gee. Alright, I'm gonna do a little something quick here. I'm gonna make room for the code window. Here we go. Alright. So this is... Okay, so here's the first point of interest I see here. Or we see here. The channel short macro. This is technically a macro I made, but it didn't exist in the source project that I built Pokemon Ray off of. Channel short is for leftover header data. So, as you can see, it's basically the same as channel, but without the address. Okay, note, drum note, rest, square note, noise note. Okay, here's the next change. I actually put all the constants in one area for all the rest of the macros to reference. Okay, so another macro that I added, I haven't used it yet, but I might use it, is the oct note. It's basically an octave command mixed with a note command. Basically, I made this macro to more closely emulate the original version of the source music. The one that Junichi Masuda and Goichi Nose used for Pokemon Gold and Silver. Note type is the same, drum speed's the same, transpose is the same, tempo is the same, duty cycle, volume envelope, sweep, pattern. No picture? Oh shoot. Let's try. Oh, that's right. Okay. Display capture. Okay. Okay, I see it now. I see it now. There we go. Okay. Should I start from the top or continue on where I was? Either way is fine with me. Oh, okay. Okay. So where was I? Oh, here we go. I remember being up here. I was trying to say that some of the macros I did clean up a bit, like duty cycle pattern, instead of putting each value in a specific bit. I just used the the crumb notation, which is 2 bits long, 4 values. Okay, here's the next major macro change. Not to the code itself, but I did change the name. So this one, it used to be toggle SFX, but it made more sense to rename it toggle music, because that's really what it's doing. It's switching between music and sound effect mode on the sound effect channels. Okay, here's a difference, an interesting difference. In Pokemon Gold and Silver, the pitch slide only worked on channel 1, and that was because the functionality for the rest of the channels was unreferenced. Well, I kind of fixed that by adding references to channels 2, 3, 5, and 2, 3, 6, and 7. So now it works pretty much as it did in Gen 1 Pokemon. Vibrato, of course, it has legacy like it did in the source files. Okay, here's another one. This one used to be one of the dreaded unknown music commands. Originally, this had no functionality in Gold, but here I actually re-implemented the functionality for set mute. Still goes unused, but it's great to have another option. Toggle noise, that's the same. Oh, here's another interesting one. I actually changed the code for command E4 so that it's red and blue instead of just EF but forced. That's why I call it old panning, because it's generation 1's means of stereo. Volume is the same. Pitch offset is the same, but I'm not going to be using that as often because we'll get to that later. But I will use it though for multiple increments of pitch. Here in the comment it says obsolete equivalent to toggle perfect pitch. That's going to come in later. Alright, another restored command, code offset. Basically, it's like a relative jump to my knowledge, but in music form. Alright, here's another restored command. Volume envelope pattern. Originally it was called Unknown Music E8, but, excuse me. But because I ended up restoring the functionality, I decided I would call it something different. And why not? Volume envelope pattern. Here we go. Now, sneak peek here. volume envelope groups, wavetable groups. That's for Command E8, volume envelope pattern. Tempo relative is the same, restart channel is the same, new songs the same. Alright. Another good one here. Okay, this one I presume had the functionality to begin with. Kept it all the way. Sound jump mark. It's a conditional jump that depends on a flag that might be set by maps or something like that. Not entirely sure, but it's there. It's basically a more streamlined version of a later command coming up. Stereo command. I actually put legacy in for Pokemon Red Generation 1. And the way I did it was, if the constant value was the old panning command, I would have it go old panning value 1, value 2. Or else, if it wasn't that, I would just have it act as normal. Sound effect toggle noise is exactly the same as regular toggle noise, but for channel 8 rather than channel 4. Okay, this one was what I was talking about when I was talking about the pitch offset. Pitch ink switch. Only present in Pokemon Ray, Shade, and Chaos. Pokemon Ray and Shade. Functionally similar to toggle perfect pitch. Another one that I implemented was the toggle sound event. This one wasn't for Pokemon Red. This one was for another game that Game Freak developed that had exactly the same engine, which was Yoshi. Basically, Yoshi had an extra command that let animations sync up with the music. This is what toggle sound event is based on. Set music. It's functionally similar to execute music from Pokemon Red, because unlike toggle music where you could technically go back to sound effect mode, set music only puts sound effects on music mode. Okay, these are dummy commands, which I renamed dummy, as opposed to music, a generic music command. That way it's clear that these commands are unused specifically. Alright, this one used to be an unknown music. This is called set sound event. This ties in with the stand-in for frame swap from Yoshi. Alright, set conditions the same, jump if is the same. Yeah, pretty much everything is the same. Oh, another note, nobody has ever taken advantage of this, but sound jump renders sound loop 0 obsolete. Because functionally, they do the same exact thing. Those specific two commands. Yeah, basically everything's the same on that one. Let's see. Legacy. We have some legacy on here. Okay, music header, channel count, sound, noise, note type, pitch offset. That used to be, well, that's what transpose used to be, pitch offset. While pitch offset now used to be tone. Duty cycle. There is a lack of underscores for the old commands here. Intensity, sound input. Okay, here's the legacy support for Pokemon Gold. Toggle SFX without underscore is the old command for toggle music. Toggle SFX with the underscore is the current Pokemon Gold command. Slide pitch 2 becomes pitch slide. And as I said with the unknown musics, set mute. A lot of this is usually going to be without underscores. So, okay. Panning. This goes to old panning. Alright. And then forced stereo panning was what old panning used to be before I changed its functionality to be like Pokemon Red's. Okay. Tone. E7, code offset. E8, volume envelope pattern. That's all fine and dandy there. Yeah. Yep, there's the frame swap, the one I used for Yoshi. And I did import three of the songs from Yoshi into this repository, or not necessarily repository. Okay, that's it. So now we go to the maps. Okay, Lanoway Gate. Okay, definitely a good interest here is one of the cops in the demos. One of the demo says and talks about. Oh, gotta go soon, but you have an awesome stream. Best of luck on the project. Yeah, thank you. Will do. Route 49, he'll tell you a useful tip or two about Pokemon mechanics. Yeah. Somebody's laptop. Better leave it alone. And here's a little bit of an interesting thing. Where, because Ray is 2 characters shorter than Shade, in Ray, I implemented two blank bytes right after the text, so that the byte count remains consistent between both versions. Okay, this is another one where the only thing of interest is where the cop gives tips. Look for litter on the ground. You'll find useful items pretty easily. Non-trans will find no use for potions or antidotes. Okay, Cottage Town. Okay, here we go. This is your hometown in the game, where you start your Pokemon journey. It's right in the center of Aquinto. Kind of like a certain little town. Okay. That's the script for when you try to leave without a starter. Right here. And right here. Rival's house sign. All the signposts. This is a jump text NPC. Oh, this is a youngster script. The youngster that talks about not getting our starter if we try to exit without a starter. He likes to gush too. Oh yeah, and he does gush about the old Amber, which does make a return in Pokemon Ray. Oh yeah, the main setting is called the Equinto region. And another fun reference here is Cottage Town, the hub for new journeys. Player, wait up. What's the big rush? Did you forget to talk to Professor Larch? You didn't even have a start yet. Alright. Now in Professor Larch's lab, no, this is his house, actually. You could do a few things over there. Just check out some stuff. The two windows definitely are a point of interest. There's something different to see in each window. There's somebody's house. Whose is it? Well, that's your rival's house. I can see Mount Vacuum from down here. Okay, this one highlights a little bit of a reference to one of the source composers for some of the rearrangements. Hey, a notebook looks like some sort of music script and a signature. WA, what's that supposed to mean? Look, extensive books. They look very hard to read. Alright. Now, at Larch's lab, we could do a few things. There's a few events here. We can get our starter here. We end up getting a potion right afterwards. We can go show the old Amber to Professor Larch, and he'll root us to take the gym challenge. And once we leave the second time, the aide will give us a few Pokeballs to catch Pokemon. Yeah, these are all the step commands here for this very room. Oh, oh yes, this was really funny to read. This is trash text. A wrapper a wrapper for a bundle of pens. Neat. I don't see that wrapper anymore. I guess the can got refreshed. Crammed with difficult books. Heal your Pokemon? What's this, a healing machine? My reflection. Hey, not bad. Oh, window open text. Smells like an Eevee's been around here. Think about that for a minute or two. Out of Cottage Town limits, there should be a house right next to the gate of Mount Vacuum. Gate to Mount Vacuum. Heal your Pokemon on that machine behind you if it's tired or hurt. Oh, here's my email in case anything comes up. Professor Larch gave player his email address. Yeah, the text for when you decline on the starter you had pressed A on. And then B. And if you do choose a Pokemon, this text will come up. Ah, fine choice. Is this the Pokemon you want? Cyndaquil, Totodile, Chikorita. Now this is gonna be these texts are gonna be vastly different because these are not gonna be the final starters. Cyndaquil's gonna turn in, well, not turn, because Cyndaquil's gonna still be in the data, but the starters that will replace the Johto starters will be Flambear, Cruz, and Orchid. Yeah. A Pokemon that Professor Larch caught. Go on now. Which Pokemon would you like to choose? If you see a wild Pokemon, you use yours to battle it. Okay, here's the text for when you give Professor Larch the Old Amber. Yeah. I last saw this back way back 7 years ago. Player thinking, okay, yeah, he's egging us on for the gym challenge instead of pondering where to revive the fossil. Yeah, just like any responsible adult. Yeah, this is the intro text where Professor Larch explains that he has an acquaintance or colleague, as he calls it, out past Cottage Town limits in Route 49. That items are returning, some items, anyway. Okay, this is the text where you try to leave without a starter after you've entered the lab. Yep, this is the one where it gives the potion. Wish us luck. Gives us some Pokeballs. And it explains how to fill up the Pokedex. And some random colleague text. Alright. Player's House 1F. Alright, this is the one where if we first come down, Mom's gonna greet us. Oh yeah, and the oops wrong side text is back from Pokemon Red. I think it's just exclusive to the first floor of the player's house. Dresser text. Lots of personal items. Better leave them alone. Okay, this one's saying that a VHS is being played. The fridge text. Sink text. Stove text. Ooh, Saber Burgers. Foreshadowing. This is for after you are set off on your journey and you talk to your mom again. And once again, there's a Quinto, the region name for Pokemon Rain Shade. And this is for when you first talk to Mom after giving the old amber to Professor Larch. And this is if you talk to Mom before giving the old amber but after getting a starter. This one's for... This is for when you're on your way out and you talk to Mom. Don't be long. You don't want to be late, player. As if you talk to your mom again before you go to Professor Larch. Okay, this is quite a bit different from Pokemon Gold, because unlike Gold, where she helps set you up with the time and day, that's already done. That's already done by the time Mom notices us. Or you. Whatever. And another great label. No need to explain this text. Okay. This plant's been on this spot since Mom and I moved in. It livens up the air in here. A nice comfy bed, no time to lose. Ah, that's better. A nice comfy bed, time for a nap. My radio, it needs to be repaired though. Contains a book I've read for years, 100 times to be exact. Not sure. I don't think that was supposed to be any reference of any kind. It's just a trendsetter text. Okay, this is a really good reference here. Anyone who gets it will be... Anyone who gets it will be commended. A cartoon about 6 Pokemon is playing. The Pokemon are approaching a forest. I better go too. Yeah. That was carried over from previous attempts to make Pokemon Ray. Okay, Rival's house. Okay, unlike other Pokemon games in that is Gens 1 and 2, your rival actually has a family. And it doesn't need to be confirmed in the remakes. Okay, Pokemon Red actually has that too, but lots of goodies inside. This thing sparkles more than Mom's. Oh, another reference here. An entire town is fighting over a Pokédoll. Makes me want to engage in a Pokemon battle. Uh-oh, wrong side. Hey, this one's just like the one at home. Somebody's steaming up some vegetables. Smells really good. Do those veggies... do they steam those veggies for that Eevee? And this is the only appearance of the rival so far. His default name in Ray is Shaggy. One of our default names is Sunny. As anybody would react, honestly. Uh-oh, wrong side. Oh no, wrong side. Nice. Rival's bed. I have my own. Better get going. An N64. Oh right, this is Rivals. Better get going. It's Rivals PC. Better leave it. Wow, the radio's in worse shape than mine. Alright, Route 49. This is the only route in the game so far. But it's also the same route where you can get some advice about catching Pokemon and using items. And that advice is entirely optional. That's the benefit of this version of Pokemon. It's basically Pokemon Red in terms of tutorials. Entirely optional. Route 49. East, routes 50 and 51. West, Cottage Town. North, Mount Vacuum. This is the item advice. There's a wide variety of items to look out for. Pokemon can hold certain items for one of many battle effects. You can also use items straight out of the bag. Use items, your Pokemon will thank you later. Pretty sage advice. This is the catch advice. All Pokemon have a catch rate, which says how likely it will be to catch a Pokemon. The ball you use to catch will be visible on your Pokemon stat screen. Now go get him. Okay, just check later if you need some advice. Nice. Oh, how about some for items? Hi, come to me for advice on catching Pokemon? Alright, so Route 49 now. So this is where you pick up the old Amber. And strangely enough, a professor doesn't give you a Pokedex this generation. It's a Pokemon itself. Alright. Ah, player, welcome. I have an old item for Professor Larch to look over. Phil gave player an old Amber. There's a few other items that have been resurfaced, but this sample should plenty do. Professor Larch should know where to revive this fossil. Thanks for your company, player. In return, let's heal your Pokemon. Instead of playing the regular heal theme, this room actually plays the Magnet Train theme as a placeholder, because I do anticipate incorporating the old heal theme, the one that got scrapped and commented out. Yeah, nobody ever says break a leg anymore. So, you talked to Professor Lurch, huh? That's neat. So what did he say? Mount Vacuum is dead ahead from here. Phil's PC. Lots of Eevee photos here. And yet another reference here. A Pidgeot was setting up a banner. Lots of slapstick is going on TV. Ooh, pretty plants. Mount Vacuum Gate. A laptop. Unguarded. Oh, this is really funny. Hey, kid, that's no PC for you to use. Please, keep away from the laptop. I'm pretty sure this also happens in another gate. Pretty sure it was Route 50? Yeah, the one that leads to Traversal City. New held items exist now. Some double stat boosts, while other items can inflict status problems. Now, this piece of text, while other items can inflict status problems, is a reference to the planned items I have. There is 5 different items that kind of act like a King's Rock, but for actual status problems. The Furnace is for burns, the Fridge for freezes, an Outlet for paralysis, Strobe Light for confusion, and a Needle for poison. I'll get to that a little more detailed. Alright, the same thing happens here. Yep, I was right. Hey kid, that's no for PC for you to use. Please keep away from the laptop. Alright, this one describes all the renamed berry trees. Berry trees have been renamed, but they've also kept their effects. PSN Cure turns to Medical. PRZ Cure turns to Shiny. Burnt turns to Spicy. Ice turns to Frosty. Gold turns to Filling. And Miracle turns to Auxiliary. Now, obviously, Auxiliary is abbreviated AUX for obvious reasons. Alright. In this one, I'm going to go in a little bit more detail here or later on. This cop says in the final release, you'll be able to assemble your own Pokemon. Just look for the main menu. Alright, all the maps are done. As you can see, the unused maps have not been axed yet. I don't think they ever will be, but it's a nice carryover from Gold. It's a nice, obvious carryover from Gold. Wow, excuse me. Now, there are some songs I did port from Red. But here's the interesting thing. Fire Flower. This is from Yoshi. Now, it's uncompressed right now because I haven't done anything to it, really, beyond spruce it up for Gen 2 use. Yeah. All I did here was add the headers. Now, despite the Fire Flower only seemingly possessing 3 channels, it actually has 4, and you'll see why. Because of the frame swap command that channel 4 uses. Yeah. Now, frame swap turns into toggle sound event, but you get the idea. Starman menu. Now, let's see. Maps, macros. Home didn't really change so much. The only things I really did was iron out all the design flaws and some of the bugs. Some of the bugs were fixed by default because I'm making a whole new region. And some of those bugs are exclusive to Johto. Alright, let's see. Graphics, mostly the same. later day, I plan on doing a draw stream of two of the box legendaries. Okay, engine, battle, core, effect commands, pointers. Where's the pointers? Move effects. Let's see. Oh, I did add in a few AI scoring routines. One for, okay, let's see. Basic, dismiss, hold on. I'm gonna collapse some of these. Types. Dismiss any move that the player is immune to. Okay, that's part. Offensive. Smart. Okay, here we go. I think I found all. Okay, these are the new AI routines. Okay, let's start with funny stuff here. Funny stuff is one of 3 new moves in Pokemon Ray. Funny stuff is basically an auxiliary attack. You have a chance to inflict any amount of damage from base 5 to base 250. And each hit has a chance to inflict a status condition. Let's see. Okay, let's collapse this for a second. Greatly encourage funny stuff to players at higher than 50% HP. Greatly discourage funny stuff for rock, steel types. Discourages the players asleep or paralyzed. Significantly discourage funny stuff if the player is burned or poisoned. Greatly discourages the players frozen. So, once again, this is because funny stuff can inflict status conditions, a wide array of status conditions, in fact. Okay, this one's for burn and freeze. These straight status conditions could only be accessed in gold through Blizzard or Fire Blast. Moves like that. Moves that do damage. There are two other new moves that I implemented that fixes this issue, which is Base Spore and Bitter Bite. Base Spore straight up causes burns, while Bitter Bite straight up causes freezes. They don't do any damage. Okay, so what this routine does, according to the comments and what it actually does, significantly encourage burn freeze inducing moves if the players are higher than 50% HP. Dismiss if the player is already statused. 50% chance to greatly discourage burn freeze inducing moves otherwise, because they are so heavily inaccurate. Okay, so that's all fine and dandy there. Let's see. What else? Alright. Let's do a quick search here. Aha, here we go. So originally the battle command pointers were 2 bytes. I increased that to 3 bytes because there was no way I was gonna implement the move effects that are required for funny stuff, Bitter Bite, and Baseboard to actually happen. So okay, so battle command pointers. So come on. Sometimes it likes to think, but not too opposed to it. Okay. Okay, so the rest of the commands are read from battle command pointers. Okay, so originally this would have been add HLBC. This get bank mini script did not exist. All that was there was, say we wanted to X these 3 lines. That's what this used to be. But because of having to make the pointers 3 bytes because of storage limitations, I ended up having to amend some code to be able to address more space. Alright. Hidden power. Menu, miscellaneous, new effect commands. Here we go. So these are the brand new effects. Oh, excuse me. Wow. Now the burn was based off of poison, the do poison thing. With the only changes that I did was change everything from poison to burn, and then I'm pretty sure there was a type check. Set burn, apply burn. Wait, refresh battle commands. Oh, that's in the home bank. That's why. That's why I set it to JP. Okay, so that's why. Okay. Animate failed move. Don't sample failure. Yeah, originally poison had the check of the type because poison types could not get poisoned. But I removed that because the only move to inflict a burn strictly was a grass move, which is Baseboard. Alright, this one's the freeze, which is based on the burn, which was based on poison. However, I think... Did I do the same type, but again? Prevent freeze. Oh, check ice. Yeah, that enemy type checkup was not in the burn, but it was in poison. So I just re-implemented that. Okay, now here's the coup de grace here. Funny stuff. Now I ended up having to far call the stab. Call battle random, of course. Type matchup. Get power. Okay, I did do the funny stuff power in command. Or in file. Now this was relatively meticulously calculated here, but it wasn't that bad. The multi-status chance was used to do some great effect, actually, because this is part of funny stuff, the part that I was describing before. 1 in 8 chance for each status. Alright, here's the text here. I had plenty of room, so no need to use text far. Target's already burned, the effect failed. Target's already frozen, but the attack was ineffective. But the attack was often missed. Yeah. Okay, so... battle events. Place little cry. Poison stab, pellets. Poke pick. Repel. Uh-oh. Events. Battle items. Atom commands core. Debug. No. Events. Progress. Graphics. Oh my gosh. Buy, sell, toss. Item effects, items, mark, pack. No. TMH. I'll get into that later. Oh, I did try implementing a little bit of an effect on the Pokeball where if the differential was high enough, or low enough rather, where the Pokeball would miss, kind of like in Gen 1, but I ultimately decided against it. mostly because of time constraints, really, to get the main course done. Well, get the main milestone done during the weekend. Items, receive items, link. Okay, here we go. This is an interesting part. I have actually tinkered around with the link, and I have actually come up with a really big major patch where I have moved compatibility for the time with the time capsule from red and blue to gold and silver, because without that it would not be compatible with gold or silver, because there's just way too many move changes, too many Pokemon changes, too many stat or data structure changes, too many to count. I figured it would be otherwise impossible to connect Ray with Gold. So here's how I did it. Basically, I just used the time capsule instead of doing instead of moving over the stats manually. I made myself a table that would do all that dirty work for me. So what I ended up doing was that link comms, music none. Okay, this is not the interesting part yet. Next, treat center. No, that's not it. Link timeout, no, that's not it. Link data, no. Got Valley. Nope. Prep data gold. Here we go. Okay, so party links +1. Mon species, party length. Convert structure rate to gold. Party mon structure length. LDBC add HM. Okay, so okay, here's the interesting part. So this is where I overhauled the routine. One of the routines here. So so what I did first was have Pokemon Ray look for the held item, look for what the held item is. If it's BF or later in the index, call update constants, otherwise continue. Then it goes to Ray to Gold converter. It starts at the species, which is 00, and it goes through this little bit of a loop, which branches off every so often, and to try and match each index byte from. Okay, here's how the comment explains it. Make A equal C. Increment if positive. Or no, increment if negative, decrement if positive, continue if 0. So comparing A to C, okay, so here we have our byte or indices, loading Goldmon species into B, loading Mon species into C, loading B into A. So now we compare A to C. If it's under C, increment if it's a non-zero, otherwise decrement. And then increment C so that the next byte can be matched. And then compare the structure length. If it matches 0, or no, if it's not below the comparison, and do not return. Okay. And then in the next byte, when it's loading the next byte, increment B, load B into A, compare A to the comp mon item, or mon cont item. If it's that index number, jump to erase, not erase. So it says temporary mon cont item and 0. So that's setting it to 0. Load A into that same address and then jump relative to the next byte. Okay, Ray is essentially the same thing as gold. Convert to Ray. This is a very similar routine, but does the inverse. Here we are loading basically the same thing, but with the exception of loading C into A rather than B into A. So our goal is to make A equal B. Increment if negative, decrement if positive, continue if 0. Now with this one, and I didn't label this as .next byte because that label would have been unreferenced. Compare B, jump if negative, and then jump if non-zero otherwise continue, increment B, compare structure length, return if 0 or above, and then increment C, load C into A, compare goldmon unknown 1. If it's unknown 1, which we'll get to what that does later, jump if 0 to set QOL. Okay, time capsule partymon unknown 1, read that, compare 0, JR's jump relative non-zero to convert mon loop, which is all the way up here. So basically it's saying if unknown 1 is 0, well, then it will continue, otherwise it'll just jump back to the next byte. So we load the base quality of life into A, load A into that address we were reading before, and load C into A so that we can we can put that back into the convert loop. Okay, replace Terrasema is the same. The only thing is that we're going to have more valid items as development goes on. Okay, update constants. This was the address reference before. The one called if positive or 0. This is basically saying if this is a TM in Gen 2, convert that into the corresponding TM in generation 3 or ray or shade. Copy link data. No, it's not. Okay, so nothing too interesting here. We're just getting a whole bunch of routines here. I think that's it on the link part. I think there was also something here that I wanted to highlight. Aha, this one is a bit of an interesting case. This code cannot be removed, period. It doesn't matter how big, how badly you want that removed. Removing that is going to break all compatibility with Gen 2, which is exactly what we don't want. We want compatibility with Gen 2. Now later on, I do intend on amending this routine, not removing it. I just plan on amending it to include one of the new mythicals, a new mythical. Okay. Here we go. This is the check time capsule compatibility. This one was tinkered with it a bit to be a bit less strict because this is Gen 2, not Gen 1. If any party Pokemon was introduced in Rain Shade, don't let it in. Basically, this goes load the value of, okay, read the party species with HL. Load the value load party length index byte into B, increment HL, and then load HL into A before increment. So reading the HL into A. Compare with -1. And if 0, check the item. Compare past mons. If non-zero, mon is tomb new. Decrement B. Okay, so check item loop. Okay, here we go. This is the 3 aforementioned moves that I introduced. Read the moves, read the party count, load A into B, load the number of moves, increment HL after a read, compare to base spore. If positive or 0, the move is too new. So, alright, let's see. I think that's it there. That is all in that file. How long have I been going for? An hour 14? Okay, I gotta wrap this up pretty soon. Like in half an hour, I guess. Okay. So next Talks. Data, battle, events, flags, no. Demo engine flags. Elevator floors, engine flags. Items. Catch rate items. Apricorn balls. Attributes. Barker shop. Descriptions. Fruit trees. Not much of interest here. Oh, the catch rate items. Now, if you notice, there is way more items than it looks like it should. Okay, here's what the comment says. Leftover catch rate items. By the time Pokemon Ray is done, this list will be much shorter. Even before the demo. Most story-related glitch items will be replaced by entirely new items. Currently works exactly like GSE's does. Okay, no. Yeah, that's referring to replace Terrasama. But has many more items appear on the table, even story-related items. And then these are the items that get converted into TMs. Now you'll notice that 2 of the HMs are actually missing. Those are watching. And that's because I did ditch Waterfall and Whirlpool. Because I don't think those would be necessary. Because there's already so few places that I've thought of to use Surf. So, just 2 additional water moves is just not going to make any sense. Heal HP. Status. Okay. Moves. Animations. Crit moves. Descriptions. Effect pointers. Effect priorities. Flail reversal power. Grammar. Magnitude. Metronome. Exception news, huh? Oh, excuse me. Moves. Yeah, as you can see, Funny Stuff has a base power of 1, which is a special case. So, okay, so Base Spore is an insta burn. It's 75% accurate, 20 pp. Bitter Bite is only 30% accurate and only 5 pp. But that's because we're dealing with a freeze, which is, let's be honest, broken. Now, unlike those 2 moves, Funny Stuff is actually relatively accurate. 90%. Which is, to some, not enough. I wouldn't blame him. 90% accurate, 10 pp, and a 35% effect chance. Names, present power. Phone, Pokemon radio. Oh, go back to Battle Core. Here we go. So as you see, I've actually implemented EVs, replaced the experience with EVs. I've actually commented about this in my discussion tab. Now, unlike the way that was suggested in the tutorial that I kind of followed, the EVs are quite a bit different from the actual EVs from the canon Pokemon games. You'll see why here with this bit of code here. Now, okay, so the format. All yields are the highest 2 bits of the Pokemon's base stats. So we read the Pokerest status. If it's 0, then we calculate without Pokerest. Read the base stats. Read the base stats in HL. Read the stat EV in DE. Now to prepare the EV. Now, here we go. Special is split into attack and defense. Whichever higher adds the EVs. Whichever is higher adds the EVs, if there are any. So this technically would work. By this logic, Caterpie, for example, would be programmed to, I believe, give... Okay, let's see. I'm gonna make a quick poke around here. Pokemon base stats. Caterpie. So technically, by this routine's logic, Caterpie would be given special attack. Or special defense. Wait, no. Special attack, actually. Okay, prepare special Eevee. That's all the way down here. So what this is saying is read HL and increment, load A into B, read HL to A, compare B. If it's negative, return. Otherwise, decrement, then return. And then we load put the EVs into the into the current stats of our temporary Pokemon. So read HL, for example, and the EV base mask, swap A, rotate right A, load A into B, read DE from A, compare with -1. If it's 0, then overflow. Then it's an overflow. Read DE again from A, add B, and then write to DE from A. Now, the only difference between Pokerus and no Pokerus is that Pokerus only rotates once, while no Pokerus rotates twice. So, for example, we were to calculate one of the base stats that is not special. We read HL with A and the base EV mask, which is 11000000. So whatever. Swap A, rotate right again. Load A into B, of course. Read for DE. Compare -1. Overflow if it's 0. Read from DE again. Add B, write to DE, increment both HL and DE. Okay, so that's pretty much the basis of the EVs. So let's go to data Pokemon. Let's see. Base stats. Base stats, no. Yeah, let's go to link then. Link. Oh, that's what it's supposed to say. Structure converter. Okay, here we go. Now I made my own macros to help streamline this. Now, as you see in the comment, the species one is redundant because 0 and 0 don't need to be converted, but they are anyway. Now, if you look here, this says convert 4 val EV XP 1. Oh wait, that's... Oh, I see. I see. Okay, save. Okay. So XP plus 1 is the EV index. So basically, when you trade a Pokemon from gold, that's the upper byte of the stat experience becomes their EVs. Their effort values. And then the inverse also happens when trading it on the other line. Their EVs become the high byte of their stat experience. Alright, text. There is a few things I can show here. Oh, what time do I got? I still got time. shoot. Okay, so fruit bearing tree. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Alright. Health returned. Woke up. Was warmed. Has been cooled. Is remobilized. Is poison is neutralized. Okay. Came to its senses. Please set the time. What hour is it? How many minutes to add? What day is it? Okay, so yes, the town map. Alright, this is the old Pokemon Gold mom text. The new text for mom is within the entire room of our first floor. Oh, Pokemon Talk. That's not gonna be interesting here. That's unused. Lucky Channel. Places and people. Rocket Radio. The contest is over. How far are we? Oh, only halfway done? Okay. Saving, don't turn off. Now, Mom doesn't ask about, in Pokemon Ratio Chaos, whether or not we want to save money. And that implies that that mechanic goes unused. have no room. Not enough money. Oh, fine. Found an egg text. I'll keep it thanks text. No room. Name reader. Gained. Experience points. Now, the digit count for the XP was risen to 5. Because there is gonna be exclusive to Pokemon Chaos a new item that basically doubles your experience on top of the lucky egg. Like you don't need to hold an additional item. You could just hold the lucky egg and have an unusual move, and the experience will double. Okay. Mr. Gift. Okay, so that means I can just go to the second one. Can't serve here. I'm getting hungry. Oh. And this is the unused HM. Vicious Whirlpool. Maybe Whirlpool is in the way. Want to use Whirlpool? Did a headbutt? Nope, nothing. Use Rock Smash. Yeah, that's still a field move. This rock looks breakable. This trick can be cut. Use cut. Think to. Sweet scent. Looks like there's nothing here. Egg can't hold an item, of course. No items, throw away. How many? Throw it. Player, this isn't the time to use that. You're never Pokemon. Used. Kind of funny that the grammar is still here from the Japanese version of Gold. Scroll went way up. Hmm. Playing within, yeah. Not much here to look at here. Alright. Where is it? Okay, this Pokemon can't be caught. Hmm. Mm. Blissful. Okay, let's see what else. Oh my gosh. 42. Okay. Oh. Okay, so that is not the part I wanted. Okay, PCTX. Would you like to end the contest? Toss that out. Too important to toss out. Isn't the time to use that. Hold item. Remove mail. Item space. Full. You can use a specified item. Oh yeah, that's an. Okay, this is a bit of a. This is an altered text. It's still. You can use a specified item with the select button. Yeah, that's still implemented. Oh, here we go. This is what I was looking at. Hello there. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Larch. I'm sure you are familiar with Pokemon by now, so let's set aside introductions. Now, what's your name? Player, are you ready? A world of dreams and adventures await. Let's go. Yeah, I did actually I did alter this line a bit to be a little more understandable. If you trade that Pokemon, you won't be able to battle. Appears to be abnormal. Would you like to save the game? Oh, I'm near the bottom. Okay, so constants. Constants. There's a few constants to look at for. Audio constants. Okay, yeah. So this is one of the few constants I actually remodeled to more closely reflect the macro that this represents. For the most part, this is essentially the Gen 2 macros, or the Gen 2 audio structure, but it's beefed up a bit and more smartly labeled too. Okay, audio constants are done. Core constants are the same. Demo constants, or Dickel constants. Hardware constants are the same. Icon input constants. Item constants. So this one is a bit interesting. I moved every invalid item to before the TM, with the exception of FF, because that is always going to be on FF. So now I got every item from. I moved all the TMs, starting from BF to C8. So. And there's some leftovers from gold, story-related items. And there's Whirlpool and Waterfall. Which hold the same exact constants as Strength and Flash. Item data constants. Pretty sure this went untouched so far. Yeah. Mark constants, menu constants, move effect, music constants. This one's a bit interesting. So as you can see, there are just currently the Johto soundtracks. That's because of the work I've been doing on the other fields of Pokemon Ray. I haven't gotten the chance to reconvert all the music that I've done. So as you can see, there's the old heal from Red and Green, which is going to turn into the non-Pokemon Center heal. This is labeled A-Type. This is from Yoshi. That's the mushroom background music. Cottage Town. Now, RBYFM Trade is the unused song that someone ended up, quote, restoring back in 15, where there was a new wavetable part, as well as the Viridian City noise channel. but this song is gonna be turned. Okay, it starts out as Lavender Town because it's a placeholder. Then it goes to the trade theme, which is going to be remixed into the House en Route theme, which is what you're going to hear at the house at Route 49. That's the map music. Now, the Rival Battle is the placeholder music for the Party Host Battle. Rocket Battle is the placeholder for the Shaggy Battle, or Champion Battle. And the Champion Battle is going to be the placeholder for the Parker Battle, which is technically a remix of the placeholder. Now there are a few other placeholders of note here. See if I have the chime here. Chime, wow. Okay, there's obviously the 5 official encounter themes. Mountain Moon Square is going to turn into the Sibling Encounter. Bug Catching Contest Ranking is the Party Host Encounter. Excuse me. Ecruteak City is going to be the Artist Encounter. Professor Elm is going to Professor Elm's theme is the placeholder for Professor Large's theme. Now this C-type is going to be the placeholder music for the bicycle, which was placeholdered by the original Gen 2 bike theme. So the bicycle theme, that's had a long history. Hall of Fame. Pallet Town is going to be the placeholder for the Oddish Farm. Dark Cave is the placeholder for Lanaway Forest. SS Aqua is going to be the placeholder for the B-type, which itself is going to be the placeholder for the SS Vapor, which is a remix of that placeholder. Ruins of Elephanteria is going to be the Pokemon Center, which is going to be a placeholder for the Dilap Poke Center. Now, the Route 2 theme is going to be the East Coast Top theme. The Indigo Plateau is the placeholder for the Quinto League. National Park, Golem Palace. Celadon City, Hypercoin City. Mountain Moon, Mount Vacuum. Azalea Town, Norgeo Town. Goldenrod City, Portite City. Route 26 is the placeholder for Route 61. Now the Rocket Encounter and Take Overture are placeholders for Team Havoc. The Team Havoc Encounter theme and the Takeover theme. Pokemon March is the placeholder for Red, Blue, Yellow Surf, which is the precursor for the Cruise Departure theme. Violet City is the placeholder for Stamp Town. Union Cave, Suncurrent Swamp. Rocket Hideout. Havoc Hideout. Pokeflute Channel and Pokemon Lullaby are going to be placeholders for the trade menu. The trade menu theme, which is actually going to be 2 tracks because the trade menu ought to have as many channels to work with as possible. And the rest of these are going to get axed. Now, as you can see, I actually did fix that design flaw that Game Freak put upon itself. Oh yeah, this is another interesting thing. Maps. Wait, no. Pokemon. NPC trades. Where is that? Where is it? Trainers. No? No? Maps? No? Events? Oh, maybe this is it. Yeah, the NPC trades. So, here's an interesting thing about the NPC trades. These trades go unused. Well, all of them go unused, really. But this goes unreferenced. These are leftovers from gold. And these actually come from, or a lot of these come from Pokemon Gold Generation 1, with the exception of DJ. We got Brent, Capper, Keisha, Ralph, and Terry. Yeah, the golden leftovers were Muscle, Rocky, Volti, Dawn, Runny, and Iroy. Now their held items are a bit different. DJ is holding the black glasses because why not? Brent is holding the metal coat because he's an Onyx. Shiny Berry, Bitter Berry, Spicy Berry, Filling Berry. Okay. Uh-oh. Constance. Hold on. Constants. What other constants are there? Pokemon data constants. This is the last thing I want to show you here. I am at pretty much 2 hours. So after this, I'm going to let you guys go. Alright, this is our base stats. Once again, these are the overhauled constants that were reformatted. This is another one of the revamped, reformatted constants. This one actually had itself some changes here. As you can see, there's EVs instead of stat experience. And here we go. These require some explanations. So, let's start with build. Now, earlier on I said that, well, I read the cops line about Pokemon assembly. Well, build is that stat. It'll come either as the form of NAT for natural or ASM for assembled. Now, second new stat, is the quality of life. Basically, a way that a stat that I implemented so that I could nerf X items. In a way. Basically, quality of life means how well you're actually treating your Pokemon rather than their perception of you treating their Pokemon. The Pokemon. And then the caught item, that's kind of obvious. That is the item that you will see that it's the item that you use to catch the Pokemon. That's pretty much self-explanatory. Okay. Alright. And here we go. I actually made an entire baseline of the old stat structure. Now here's a little fun fact. Pokemon Red was 44 bytes long in terms of the Pokemon data structure. Ray is also 44 bytes. It has Gold as a time capsule, which has 48 bytes, and Gold had the time capsule of Red. So in a way, the byte values have swapped. Alright, party length is still 6. Mons per box. Okay, the number of boxes I also upped. Now, it was a little bit hard to do because of work RAM being a pain. But I managed to make it so that the RAM, I could expand the RAM. And that the work RAM was actually not affected. Now what I did to implement a 21st box or 7 new boxes is that I actually added an extra bank of save RAM for the boxes to reside in. So bam, we got that. Hall of Fame. Okay, so there's new evolution method. This has to do with the new stats. Of course, this one, the item, the Evolve Held, that was a long time coming. Because that is an obvious choice, honestly. Evolve Quality of Life is basically a diet Evolve Happiness. And then Evolve ASM. Basically what this requires is that you level up after battling a Steel type with an active build stat. This is what will evolve Eevee into one of the new evolutions. Yeah. Eevee's gonna have 2 new evolutions in Pokemon Ray. Wispion, which evolves by held item with one of the new items called Night Armor, and then Assembleon, which is the exclusive evolution for the build stat. Quality of Life introduces a whole bunch of new evolutions to old Pokemon as well. Not as prevalent, but still. Yeah, there's the build stats. NAT for natural, ASM for assembled. And there's the base EV mask, the base stat mask. Well, I didn't use the base stat mask, but I did use the base EV mask so that I could get away with not having to replace unused content. Well, I think that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think if you really want to tell me. Alright? Tempo Quill out.